Hi, my name is Chris Ramos. This is eJournal EDAD 766A, Creating a Culture of Trust and Mutual Respect. I'm the lower school dean at Temecula Preparatory School, and we always go through our vision and mission statement anytime we are making any kind of presentations. Our TPS vision is a heritage of virtue, wisdom, and knowledge. Our mission, Temecula Preparatory School inspires students to become virtuous citizens, critical thinkers, and lifelong learners through a classical education and understanding of human virtue. The how. How I create a culture of mutual respect and trust so staff, parents, and families feel supported in sharing diverse thinking, ideas, and problems. I'm going to review the steps to ensure that all stakeholders' voices are being heard. I'm going to reflect on a specific strategy I used for the virtual and in-person flip-floppers. We'll explain that more later. And then personal growth of what I learned from this strategy. Creating a culture of trust and mutual respect. Within our staff, I have many different ways that I create that culture of trust and mutual respect. I always have individual meetings with staff members at the beginning of the year. Throughout the year, I constantly am doing classroom walkthroughs where I'm giving immediate feedback with what I saw. I also am available as an open door policy principal to allow staff to come in as needed if it's an emergency. I do prefer that they set up an appointment, but I'm always available if something comes up and they need to speak to me. I like to send birthday cards to my staff on their birthdays or give them some kind of text message, say, hey, happy birthday, hope you're having a great day. At any possible time, I like to send thank you cards to our staff. Even if they're submitting, giving a good lesson, I like to thank them for the lesson that they gave and give them a little positive praise. It's always good to kind of keep up that morale. In addition to all those, I also do staff surveys just to kind of see how I'm doing as a leader and what they expect of me and if there's anything I need to change to make their work environment more pleasant. Stakeholders. I do a number of different surveys for our parents, our families, and our community. I'm always visible outside at the loop. I'm visible at all of our school events. I'm visible throughout the community wearing my TPS shirt. So I'm visible anywhere I go for the students to see me and the parents ask me questions and talk with me. I do random phone calls. Sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and I'll just look at our Aries website and just pick 5 students at random and just call home and just kind of see how things are going. I'll talk to the parents, ask them if they have any questions, if they have any issues going on. But I like to just pick up the phone and make some phone calls. I'll also talk to the parents outside at the loop at pick up and drop up as well to just kind of see how things are going. I really like to be connected to our parents and families. I also send student birthday cards. I have my secretary give me a list of all of our students with their birthdays. We'll get them in the calendar, and I will send out about 3 days prior to their birthday. We'll send out a quick little birthday card that they can get in the mail, feel a little excited by getting some mail and that their principal is remembering their birthday. And I try to make sure I wish them a happy birthday on that day if they're in school. Some of the steps for meeting with the staff, I do pre-school year and post-school year meetings. So I'll schedule that before the school year starts. I'll schedule the evaluations to go over observations and just the general evaluations, and that'll always be scheduled. Like I mentioned, I have an open door policy. Staff is always welcome to meet. Scheduled meetings are appreciated, but I make myself available. Birthday wishes, thank you cards, immediate feedback, all things that I've talked about previously. One reflective area that I had a problem with is we have with this whole COVID thing, and we had to do virtual learning. So a lot of families, I wouldn't want to say took advantage, but I think they took advantage of the opportunity to stay at home and not come to class. And with that, it gave parents an opportunity to kind of show up to class when they felt like it and stay home when they felt like it. And that was an issue with many of our staff members. How our school is set up is that they choose a model. They can either come to school 4 days a week or stay home 4 days a week. And they need to give us notice if they want to change their model. What's happening, though, is we have students that are coming 4 days a week, but every Monday or once in a while, they'll not come to class and they'll just log in virtually instead. Some of the teachers kind of were complaining about that it's just annoying and they don't like it. A lot of teachers really didn't like that. We did the best we can to tell the parents that we want to make sure that they're not flip-flopping. We sent out letters. If there were families that really took advantage of that, we would call them and talk to them individually. But at the end of the day, I just asked the teachers what's the big deal? Is it that big of a deal if a student doesn't show up one day and pops into a Zoom? Like, how is it affecting them personally? Is it something that, we may need to make a big deal about? I kind of asked them what they want to see happen. Personally, I'm glad they're there. They have a right to an education. Yeah, it's a trying time, and it may be annoying, but is it really that big of a deal? And after we talked about what the solution is, there really isn't a solution other than just kind of reminding the parents that we don't like it, but at the end of the day, as we talked about with our teachers, it came about that it really isn't that big of a deal. It's just more of an annoyance instead. And I could see how it was. As a teacher, I put myself in their shoes, and knowing that a child is just popping in a Zoom, you don't know about it, and maybe they don't have their books and their materials because they left them at school over the weekend, so now they don't have a math book at home when they will log onto their Zoom. I could see how it does get annoying. But, that's on the student and the parent to just log in without their materials. That's on them. And I tell the teachers it shouldn't be, any inconvenience for you. If that happens, you need to let the parents know that if they don't have their book and stuff, that they're going to have to, make do, because ultimately they're responsible for being in the classroom and they chose not to come to school that day. Something I learned about the lesson is to always gather input on a problem. I liked how I asked the teachers what the problem was, why it was affecting them, and I also asked them for solutions. What do you think we should do? Knowing that all children have the right to that education, whether it's online or in person, what can we do? We can't kick them out of school. We can't suspend them. We can't force them to come. We can't force them to go home and stay online. And after the teachers kind of learned that, there's kind of like, well, yeah, you're right. What can we do other than try to encourage it to have them stay with their model? Also, I asked them, is this worth fighting for? Is this, what you want to, stress over? Is this that big of a deal that you want to, just throw a fit on? And after all, the student is still attending class. They're still getting the lessons. Do we want to, really make a big deal out of about this? I also allow the teachers to reflect back on the above to ask again, is this really worth fighting for? And at the end of the day, the teachers will start to chuckle about it. Like, yeah, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. There's other issues that I'd rather, fight for. This just isn't one of them. At the end, obtaining teachers' trust and respect will allow me to ask these questions in a more respectful manner. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.